have this place attacked. Boom, hit scrap driver seats, all this fun stuff, and it's going to require some basic items. It's going to require some knocking down some trees. They're going to break. They're going to need to refine. That's how you're going to get your, not too bad. Scrap everything. Everything's scrap here. Now, I highly recommend making your connect tool right now, making your engines, making your stuff, going around doing what you will. It's a good time. It's fun. You'll have your first little scrap buggy in no time at all. Then once you get to a place like this, you're going to go up here and you're going to have some options for some mechanic stations. You want the craft bot. Make sure you prioritize this craft bot. It takes up the biggest slot and it's the first one on the list for a reason. You're going to want the craft bot, you're going to want a refinery bot, and you're going to want a resource collector. These two bots come in later game. For now, just get these three. Once you get to the point where you think you need these, you'll probably be sitting good enough where you could actually use them. But for now, you're going to want a craft bot, refinery bot, and a resource collector. I will show you exactly what those do. Your craft bot is going to be this gigantic guy right here. You're going to be able to go in the inventory. You're going to be able to build all the things and all the stuff. This is where the fun really begins, because this is where you can start making interactive stuff. You can start making better engines, electric engines. You can start making your chests, your storage items, your drills, your stuff like that. All that amazing stuff all happens right here. Super great time. So now that you've gotten to this point, the first thing you're going to want to focus on, if you already have a vehicle of some sort, you're going to want to focus on this drill. This drill is going to make your life 10 times easier if you get it super early. The earlier you get that, the better your life is going to be. Now, it requires 30 metal. This block right here is metal, and this one is a metal tier 2, I believe it is. So metal block 1 by 10, metal block 2 by 10. Or, well, metal block 1, metal block 2, and you get 10 of them as you craft them. So these are going to require scrap. Make sure you use scrap, get those blocks, get the things, get the stuff, and get that drill built as soon as you can. Because that drill is going to allow you to mine rocks, which will then give you stone and metal without having to use scrap. I do not have to get metal blocks by using scrap anymore. I can use my drill and go out and get metal. And we'll get into that in just a second too. Now, the refinery bot, this guy right here, this will take your items, your resources, your stuff, your things, grind them up for you so you don't have to hold the E by hand and grind them all up and do it by hand. It's super annoying, right? I know, nobody likes that. Refinery bot here to save you. Thank you so much, refinery bot. We love you. And then you also have your collector. This guy right here is going to store your items. Let's go ahead, let's take this guy out, and let's go see if we can't find some metal or some stone somewhere that we can go ahead and grab. Now, once you have your amazing mining machine, it's obviously not going to be like this, but it's going to be semi, it's going to be a machine with a mining drill on the front. Do what you got to do. It is what it is. You're going to need to power it. So it's on a bearing, super easy. I'm going to go ahead and take one off of this. Actually, no, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to use this engine. I'm going to power this because I have a second engine, but you will have to have an engine to power it. And that's just kind of how it is here. So you probably have something set up like this where you drive forward and you start drilling. But what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to drill these square rocks right here. Now, the roundier rocks, they don't seem to really do anything. So I don't think you can do anything with those. You're going to be looking for these square pillar rocks looking like this. And you're going to have to use the drill to get them broken into smaller pieces. So I need this giant chunk right here to be broken into a smaller piece, which it should here shortly. All right, so there's one piece. Let's go ahead and get this one mined down too right here real quick. And voila. So you'll have a mine down. They're going to look like this. You just start bashing on them like you do the wood. It's going to break down to 2 smaller pieces. Then it's going to go to 2 even smaller pieces. And hopefully we get a metal one here so I can show you what a metal one looks like. These are stone, and that right there is metal. So you could sit here by hand. You can go through, you can refine them by hand. That's completely okay. Or if you have your refiner, if you have your collector, you can go ahead and grab that guy down. You're going to set it right next to him. It'll start sucking up some of them. You can either load them by hand by doing this and place them in there, or you can actually smack these towards them. If you weren't going uphill, it'd be better. But you can smack these towards the bin and it'll start collecting them for you. That way you don't have to do you don't have to do them all by hand right now, because it takes a little while to start doing everything by hand. Once you get your little container full or half full, like I do have here, you can bring it back, and all you do is you have to set it semi close to your refiner. So my building is kind of up here, out of the way immediately, but as you can see, it starts sucking it up, and it will then turn it into those resources for you. So you don't have to sit there, you don't have to do them by hand, you just collect them, you bring them back. It's super handy. Now, once you get later in game, of course, you can start making them and or making a vehicle that does all this while you're out doing all the things and stuff. But as you can see, it's turning those into stone, into metal. And then I do have a chest connected to it, so it will deposit it in here if it can, if there's room. Hopefully there will be. And then you're good to go.
Are you looking for a way to stay connected to your mail and packages from anywhere 24/7?
So now you have stone, you have metal, you are no longer required to get your scrap all the time. Now I have a bunch of scrap because as you go out and do stuff, you kill robots and you make sure you get the scrap because it's always handy to have. But then again, you're gonna need this block right here because if you got to the drill, you obviously needed that block already. And that guy right there requires water, embers, and metal.